Good morning. This week is Thanksgiving week, and you'll be seeing this on the Saturday after Thanksgiving. So this week I decided I wanted to do a list of things that I'm thankful for. Now, of course, everybody is thankful for family, thankful for health, thankful for God, country, everything that's really, really important. And of course, I'm thankful for all of that first. But I wanted to make this kind of fun, and since this YouTube channel is all about me doing stuff with a bunch of cool tools and making firewood and all that kind of stuff, I want to do a list of 5 tools that I use, or pieces of equipment that I'm most thankful for. Now, there had to be some kind of a qualification for that, of course. You can't just, list off all your tools. I mean, there's so many tools. What I wanted to do was think about something that if I didn't have it, I'd have to go out and get another one. I can't live without it. So the very first tool or piece of equipment I'm going to put on my list is my truck. It's a Ford F-150, and now this truck is an extremely special truck to me because it was my dad's, and you've seen him working with me in a lot of these videos. My dad is 84 years old, and he still kicks butt. This guy is out here working. He's pushing me, believe it or not. And sometimes I want to quit, and he just keeps it going. So anyway, this was my dad's truck, and his eyesight has gone to a point where he can't drive anymore. Bottom line is, I respect that man so much, because when he could drive and he could see well enough, he told us, and he said it repeatedly, when I get so old that I'm that old guy driving 10 miles per hour below the speed limit, causing all kinds of problems, I want you to take the keys from me. Well, that time came because of his eyesight, and he graciously said, well, I'm just not going to drive anymore. You guys can drive me everywhere that I need to go. So that's what happened. So I got the truck. Now that truck is a Ford F-150, and one of the best features about that truck is the power. It has an 8-cylinder, a big old V8, and it will pull way more than it's supposed to pull. As a matter of fact, I've pulled way more than I'm supposed to pull with it. It is a very simple truck. There aren't a lot of cool features on it like power windows and power locks. It has the hand crank windows, which my dad bought it because hand crank windows don't break. And it has manual locks because manual locks don't break, not like all that electric garbage that just wants to go and fall apart. Anyway, so it is maybe not something that I use every single day, but when I need it, I need it. Now, if I had to replace it, I would probably change a few things. The number one thing I would change about that truck is I would have 4-wheel drive for sure. That's a 2-wheel drive truck, and it'll get stuck on wet pavement, I swear. Sometimes it's gotten stuck on level ground before. I would definitely do 4-wheel drive. And it has an 8-foot bed, which is very nice for loading stuff and getting, 4x8 sheets of plywood, you name it. But I would honestly get a shorter bed, and there's a reason for that. You can't turn that pickup truck around in Menard's backyard. Menard's back lot where they have all their stuff. You have to do a 3-point turn with that truck. The turning radius is horrible because its wheelbase is so long. So I would get a shorter bed, but I would also get a 4-door truck. I would get something that I could take my daughter around in and also use to work. And I would use the trailer to do all the loading and unloading. And that brings me to my second piece of equipment that I am most thankful for, and that is the dump trailer. That dump trailer has been one of the best purchases I've made, and I bought it early last year or late last year, I don't know. Anyway, the prices on them have gone up by thousands of dollars, so I got it at a good time. I think anything that you can get, you should get right now because prices are just going through the roof. That's a whole different subject. But for acquiring things, I thought I would be using it to deliver firewood. I use it more to acquire firewood, getting the logs, getting loads of gravel, getting loads of dirt, all kinds of aggregates and stuff. And I can load the tractor in and out of it and take it to places. It's all about not having to, when I say touch the firewood, that to me is having to lift a piece of firewood. If I lifted that piece of firewood, that's what I want to eliminate. So from getting the tree with the tractor, putting it in that dump trailer, bringing it here, dumping it out of the trailer, picking it up with the tractor again, bringing it back to the wood yard, cutting it up, blah, blah, blah. I'm not touching that firewood until I get to where I split it. So that trailer has, oh, and the capacity, my goodness, it'll hold 10,000 pounds. We used to put, if I talk about the way we used to do it, we used to load by hand whatever we could lift into a trailer, and then whatever we could lift out of the trailer, and then into wheelbarrows or little ATV trailers and stuff. We were lifting logs all the time. And that trailer has drastically reduced that. It's certainly been a help. So number 3, since we're talking about firewood, my new MS500 saw, my steel MS500. Now I've had a steel Farm Boss for years and years and years. That's been my saw, but I was ready to step up to a pro saw. And if you know anything about the steel MS500, it is the first fuel injected chainsaw ever. And it was very difficult to find. I was looking for them, and finally I thought to myself, I need to cut some big wood. I want to get a pro saw. I'm going to get the MS680, I think it is, or 660. I think it's a 660. Anyway, the bigger one that I can put a 36-inch bar on and do some bigger wood with. Anyway, I walked into my local Do-Cut to buy that MS660. I should look that up. Anyway, and I said, oh, it's too bad I can't get the 500i. He says, well, we have one. I said, no, you don't, because I bought it. That's me. You know, it's kind of like this. Could I replace it? I could replace it with another saw, but it's the MS500i, and I have one. So I think that's just kind of a gimmicky thing. But I'll tell you what, if I didn't have a chainsaw, I'd have to go out and buy another one immediately. So it definitely qualifies as one of those tools that I am most thankful for. And then number 4, speaking of saws, I want to talk about all of the circularly bladed, the round bladed saws that I use for woodworking. We'll start with my Dewalt Miter Saw. The Dewalt Miter Saw, can't live without it. It absolutely is essential when you're building something like a shed or a deck or anything construction-wise, framing. So whether it be a Dewalt or a Makita or whatever brand you use, a miter saw is certainly something that you can't live without. And if I didn't have it, I would certainly have to go get another one. And along that line, I also have the one that started it all. This was the little demon that started me along the Dewalt tools, because once you buy their battery operated tools, you're stuck with their batteries. So you buy Dewalt battery operated tools. But this was, I watched, of course, YouTube videos on it. And this circular saw is the best battery operated circular saw out there. You can do your own research and you can figure it out on your own. But from what I saw, and I'll tell you what, I love this thing. It is fantastic. It is a great tool to have. And if I did not have this specific circular saw, I would go buy another Dewalt circular saw to replace it if this one died, because I like it so much. So that's not really a plug for Dewalt. I'm just being honest with you. This is my absolute favorite Dewalt battery operated tool. Now, I know another Dewalt tool is just what I have. This is a very, very well thought out tool, and the way they did this, the way they put this all together, wow, am I impressed. This is my Dewalt table saw and stand. The stand is very important because this Dewalt table saw is so portable and so easy to use and is so accurate and so convenient. I absolutely love it. And the way that this table and table saw on its stand folds up onto, it just becomes a dolly of its own. You just wheel it around and move it wherever you want. It's got a built-in handle and it's built well. It is so convenient. I can just use it, fold it up, put it in the corner of the garage or down in the basement, and when I need it again, just wheel it right out, set it right up, and I'm ready to go. I love that table saw and that stand for its convenience, its versatility, and everything about it. It's, like I say, it is so accurate right out of the box. It is a great table saw, and I highly recommend it. Now number 5. For number 5, which was my number 1 piece of equipment on my property, is my Kubota Bx 2380 tractor. I could not live a day without that thing. owning 3 acres of property. So a little backstory on why I have that tractor in the first place. So my wife and I used to live in a neighborhood, a third of an acre lot, and you know, keep your lawn nice and all that kind of stuff with a little zero-turn mower, or maybe you pay somebody to come and mow your lawn. Well, we bought 3 acres. And when we bought 3 acres, our driveway is 350, 450 feet long if you include the turnaround area. Our yard is at least an acre or more. It's probably 2. It's about 2 acres of mowing. And I thought, I've got to have something to plow the driveway, and I have to have something to mow the yard. And I don't want so many pieces of equipment to have to maintain. I want something that's going to do everything. Well, my friend said, hey, my dad's got this Kubota tractor and he absolutely loves it. Well, I saw a Kubota Bx at our local fair here in Canfield, and I said, you know what? That's the one right there. That's what I want. So I bought it with a front end loader on it, a 60-inch mower deck, and I could move snow with the bucket, but I realized very quickly that a plow was in order for it, so I ordered a plow for it, and that's where the implements start. And once you start putting implements on a tractor, you can do just about anything. It's called the, what guys call it, the Swiss Army knife of tractors, because you put a different bucket on the front, you can dig out stumps. You put some pallet forks on the front, you can lift things around. You put a grapple on the front, and now you're talking firewood and moving brush and moving logs, and oh my goodness, it is just the #1 piece of equipment that anybody should have if they're trying to manage a large or semi-large. This isn't a huge piece of property, it's not hundreds of acres, but certainly with 3 acres of woods and lots of lawn to mow and a large driveway to plow, that tractor is wonderful. So those are my top 5 most thankful for tools. Of course, I've got a lot more tools that I really like, and I'm sure they could have made the list, but I just did the top 5. And if you have any questions about any of those things, or you know, you want to comment, I'll tell you what, why don't you leave a comment on what your favorite tool is and what you're most thankful for, and we'll talk about that. So I appreciate you watching. I hope this was entertaining to you. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope you had a great time with friends or family, and we'll see you next week, and we'll get outside and do some more work. See you then.